Alright, chat, let's go back. So we are now watching unknown user Overwatch, who just redeemed some points. So now watching. Okay, Overwatch. I still like that. You redeem 1 point, so and you wanted to look at the attack. So let's look at the attack, not the defense. Looks like we can get him back just in time. The enemy team capped with 5 seconds left. This is unlucky. Minute 16. Now I will do the whole attack. Like I'm usually by 1 point I refer to either attack or defense. I don't mean like 1 point. It's phrase point because, for example, control has points, right? Damage boosting the Ash is good here. You heal the buff, this is fine, yep. Damage boost the Ash still, this is fine. We go to the high ground with her. Don't expose yourself a lot, yeah, playing behind the bridge, this is fine. Healing the Widow, back to damage boosting the Ash, top her off, damage boost, this is really good. It's been pretty solid thus far. We don't really have to worry about the tank line a lot because we have an Ana, and the Ana hasn't had any problems yet, so this is okay. You're also playing behind cover, so really good. No reason to damage boost the Widow. She either gets a one-shot kill or she doesn't. That's it with Widow. Healing the Widow is fine. Like I like how you're worrying about your DPS. Probably again not ideal to damage boost the Widow. Focus on the Ash more. Also, I don't know why you want this or forward. Like, what was that idea? Right, we're on 20 seconds. Oh, no, we are on 10 seconds. I don't know why it went so far back then. Like, why this? Thought I can go for the rest on the Hammond. Uh, did you know where the Hammond was? Because, yeah, he was just a little bit too far away. You thought he'd be on the high ground. Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. Usually don't go for rest unless you can see this all. At the very least you get out, though, like immediately, which is fine. Again, I would like it more if you were damage boosting the Ash, because Widow doesn't really need your damage boost to kill people. That's the whole point of playing Widow, at least. Like, she can just help one-shots. So yeah, we go for the Ash. We top her off, we back to damage. Thus far, it's been pretty good. And your DPS are getting value, and your side is getting value. And you're both distracted them. So thus far, pretty clean. Your Ash is acting for healing right now. I know you can, like, if you go, Ana will get back to point. You don't have to do it this way. You should be going to get your healer some actual healing. So your DPS healing. Again, not a big thing. With Nano, you pop Valk. We're going in with Valk. I don't think it was a bad time. Your team is not properly engaging, but also we don't really have like a very volley team. So honestly, feel free to go aggressive with Valkyrie as well. No reason to heal here. Like even Ball, I'm like you can heal him, but your healing is only 60 per second, I believe. It's not a lot of healing during this game. Like I would focus on healing Diana. Ball should be able to survive by himself. A decent ball player should be able to just survive. So I would focus on topping off Diana and then coming back to damage boosting people. Don't worry about topping off ball. Either let your Ana do it or let him go get a mega. We kill Diana, which is good. This should be a one fight. Oh wait, you cap and then you are asking for. Okay, I see what you mean. I'm dumb. You have a second attack. This is why I was confused. I was like, you're doing good. What do you mean? Okay, I see your point now. You had 2 attacks. So they get first cap. You only need 30. You actually only need to cap like first point and you win, huh? So this should not be very difficult. We don't have like day swap rolls. Like our Ash went to, sorry, our Widow went to Ash and our McCree went to McCree. Our Ash went. You get what I mean. The person who was playing Widow is now playing Ash, and the person who was playing Ash is now playing McCree. Who should do damage boost? Probably still the Ash. Killing Diana again is your top priority. We do damage push the Ash, play with cover. Yep, this is okay. Damage push the Ash, damage push the Ash, damage push the Ash. Top her off, damage push, this is fine. We got a pick, it should be good already. Don't ask me why she's not taking the high ground. Like your Ash should be just playing here. This is free shooting range for her, but this is not something you can change, so. A little exposed here. Be more careful about this. Like you can actually play on the low ground behind cover and still have your beam connected. You don't have to go up with them. Because right now you're kind of exposed and they have a McCree and Dash, a Zenyatta, and a Roadhog who's looking at you. And you're floating to top it off. Okay, we do go behind the team. Just be careful. Healing, healing, healing. This is fine. We do take the high ground. Really good. Good damage boost. Allow you to get the kill on the McCree. We don't have to worry about the, like, again, you expose yourself a lot here. And because Diana is close to the McCree, you can let Diana heal the McCree. Like, if trying to heal one of your DPS is going to expose you like that, you just let them be killed by someone else because you really don't want to die. Like, I'm gonna state like this. Your first priority is to keep Ana alive. This is the most important thing. Your second priority is to be alive yourself. You don't want to expose yourself to try to keep someone else alive like that. Like, if you only had to, like, peek or risk yourself a little bit, I'll be like, okay, yeah, you are weighing, like, the scales may be like, yeah, maybe a little bit of risk to you is saving a teammate is good, but exposing yourself like this from a crew that's in line of sight of your Ana and probably not gonna die, it's not worth it. You're still, like, we kill him anyway. At this point, it should be won. Yeah, we do win first. Let's look at the second. So, not a big mistake, and basically the entire team was gone. Let's look at the second, where you said is where you had problems. We have 4.5 minutes to get, well, 90%, basically, 86%. Should be more than doable, but this second point is one that a lot of people struggle on. Damage boost. Don't worry about the Roadhog. He has both Ana and himself. Ash is more important. Yep. Yep, I like this. You didn't top them off. I don't know if this was on purpose. You didn't actually top them off. You went back to damage boosting, and they took a headshot from McCree. But because they had more than enough health to survive it, they are not in danger. And they just hide behind cover, and you heal them back up. Then you right click. I'm actually okay with what you're doing here. Pocketing the Ash is a decent job. It's, again, ideally you will be in a position where you can get more than one person, but in this case it's not really possible. Like your Sari and McCree going one way, the Rothon and Ana going another, and Dash is your best damage boost target. So I am more than fine with you just staying on main with your Ash. Keeping your Ana alive is your priority, then we go back to the Ash. No need to cross main like that, but again, no need to cross main like that, but little tiny mistakes, and no need to heal the Rothog. Like, Rothog has both Ana, who's playing here, and himself. He's got a button that heals him. So you don't have to worry about topping the Rothog off. Bulk is way too early here. I get that you're trying to pressure your team. Maybe you're just losing it like, hey team, go forward. But you're wasting a little bit of time on bulk right here. Like, we are not getting value here. Like, as the team is rotating, we already wasted half of bulk. And we got maybe 1 or 2 shots from our entire team here. Careful behind noon. That's the draw. We can go now. Trans, you top of the McCree, the Ash, sorry, which is good. Hi, Alexa. We buff. This should be one. We have a our Ash died, which is unlucky, but you can rest that. We really want to focus on keeping a McCree alive again. Saria doesn't really need us. McCree does. Don't have much time. Just wanted to say hi. Hi. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, you keep McCree alive. Now you can go for the rest. This is fine. This should be winnable, like very winnable. There's flags. Damage push here is definitely the right choice. He doesn't use it. There he uses it. It's grab, keeping Saria alive was the right choice as well. We got 2 ticks already. We only need like 20 more percent. Lost fight we get out. I like this. Overall, have you done something very bad? Now, you could have definitely waited on your Valkyrie. Like, half of your Valkyrie was you just standing here waiting while your team was moving forward. Which is not great, but that's the biggest thing you've done thus far. You've been playing safe, you haven't died, so maybe expose yourself a little, but overall, pretty solid first attack. And we did get 2 takes, like we didn't complete because of how fast respawns are on this point, but it was pretty good overall. Now we have like 3 minutes to get 20%. Get rest. You heal the Saria and McCree, it's fine. Saria, you got Anna and McCree's fine. You try to keep people alive. Urana's priority, remember that. Like right now you're going for Roadhog, for your Roadhog, but your Roadhog is both naded by Urana and being healed right now by Urana as well. Sorry, I got nanoed. You pop Valkyrie. I'm okay with you popping Valkyrie here again. Maybe not as much value as you could have gotten, but still pretty decent. You go aggressive here. Keep the Saria alive, very important. Keep your Roadhog alive. Like, if your team is gonna split like this, it's when your Valkyrie is going to get the least value. You're basically just using it for no reason, just to fly around. It was I'm okay with it. Like, you had 2 or 3 people here, but then the Roadhog went this way, and McCree went this way, and Saria went this way, and you basically were left with no one. Valkyrie is really good when your team is grouped up, but it's really bad when this happens. Looks like it could still be a 1-5 though. You are exposed to a little bit, but careful about exposing yourself again. Like, you just took 2 shots in a row from the Ash, then you exposed yourself again, and then took the which almost killed you, and then you died. So be careful about exposing yourself. Even during Valkyrie, a decent sniper will kill you. We got Zenyatta. I like this swap. Okay, so I'm guessing you went Zenyatta because you thought you were not getting enough value on Mercy. I think it's GM Sniper. Lol, that's unlucky. But yeah. If it's a GM Sniper, even less reason to show yourself like you haven't, right? Wait, are you playing on GM or were they a Smurf? Because if you're playing on GM, I should swap this a lot. Sorry, this a lot. But even if they were a Smurf, if they don't have to be a Smurf, if they are decent, you can just play a little bit more carefully overall. Oh, the game was GM. Let's raise that then. But yeah, thus far, you play pretty good. That's the biggest advice I can give you for that one. If they have a good sniper, don't expose yourself like that. Like, play with cover more. Especially if you know they have a good sniper. You were shot twice right here. and the game has been going on for, well, 20 minutes, right? There is no reason for you to play open like that. You know that their snipers are good. You have to play a lot more carefully. I wish I had known that you were basically High Master from the beginning. I would have been a lot more okay with telling you nitpicky stuff like, hey, don't expose yourself. You are doing. Where's first point? Well, damn it. I would have been a lot more okay with telling you like, hey, this is kind of nitpicky, but don't expose yourself. This actually can make or break a game, like High Masters or low GM, because if they have good snipers, they just pick you when you are exposed. The Roadhog was here looking at you, could have hooked you. So yeah, don't expose yourself as much. I don't know why Rush didn't just take this high ground. At this rank, it should be very evident that this is your best position. But even then, don't expose yourself like that. And even on the second point, don't expose yourself like this. And I also feel a lot better for not having a big any. I was like, I don't really have any big stuff to point out that you are doing wrong. That's because you're playing on high masters. There is no big stuff to point out. But yeah, play a little bit more cover and use Valkyrie. Use Valkyrie a little bit later. So because yeah, you used it to push, but used it a little early. Your team was not in the fight yet. We were not getting a ton of value. The second time, again, I don't think it was bad, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. I'm like, your team did go very different directions, which is the part of the problem. So using bulk maybe a couple seconds later, so your team, well, has already engaged in the fight or doesn't have to do this basically for like 3 or 4 seconds and then start shooting is the biggest two things right now. More cover, back a little later. We go Sen, and I do love my Sen play. Don't play in the open. You know they have good snipers, there's no reason for you to be dueling them in the open. Basically a Mercy one trick, by the way, my Sen is gonna be very questionable. Ah, unlucky. Yeah, the same rules apply for don't play in the open. Because again, if they have, you know they have good snipers, and with Sen you have even less mobility, and your hold on, let's wait until you are rest. Your hitbox as Zenyatta is very big. It's basically this. This is Zenyatta hitbox. It's very big. So yeah, it's you have even more risk being hit as Zenyatta than as Mercy. Just be very careful because, well, yeah, play in the close. Not in the close. Play with cover. That's what the word I forgot. Play with cover more. Like if you have to make this rotation, you go to cover, then through here where they can shoot at you. Then we take main where we can just shoot with cover, or we take an off angle where we can shoot. Throwing right clicks is fine. If you have anyone in range, you should be. I was like throwing one set of right clicks is fine. After one set of right click, your left click actually does more DPS. My head moves a lot while right clicking, that's why I poked out, by the way. I've seen the red ash names before. Are they a streamer alt or something? Do you know? It's apparently high master, so it probably is around your SR. Maybe you just remember it because it's a very memorable name, like Lubudubudubu. It's a very memorable name. You cannot tell me you would not remember this name if you only saw it once, you would remember it. But yeah, this is a high masters game, so you probably play against them at some point or with them at some point. But one more thing with Sen, I was saying, one volley of right clicks is good at the beginning, but because they have basically a Sigma shield and you want to break it as fast as possible, your left clicks actually do more DPS than your right clicks. So you should be like, one volley of right clicks while that I can charge while I'm getting ready, then you left click into them, you discord when you have the chance, and you keep shooting. There is no reason for you to be right clicking so much. There is a reason. You are trying to do. You're trying to play safe, right? You are trying to not poke for as long time as possible. But basically, you can still do this and be like, poke, 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 right? And trying to do, especially if the Sigma is shielding, you don't even have to poke the people. You can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna play here, where it's very hard to shoot me, and shoot at the shield with left click. Break the shield, then you can go without for a Discord or whatever. Careful for the dynamite, that's fine. Sigma Saki, decent headshot, didn't kill, which is unfortunate. Into the Sigma shield, left click, definitely. Playing long range is fine, I don't want you to go too far forward. Your tanks are going forward, we use Bob as well. You're going way too aggro here, remember Sun is basically a sniper himself. Being this close to these heroes is gonna cost you dearly. There we go! Yeah, it was pretty obvious. Don't get this close to enemies. The only reason you could get this close to enemies is if you know they don't have a way to kill you and you have Discord on them, so that you know when they're moving. But the too long don't read is don't get this close to enemies. Like, I'm not saying you are doing perfect from here. Like, you should be left clicking a lot. Like, you should be playing like here and just left clicking at point wherever you can. If you get discorded, you just hide for a second, then you poke back up. Well, 3 seconds. Then you poke back out and shoot at them. Then you hide, then you shoot, then you hide, then you shoot. And when you have an advantage, then we move forward. And we move forward over here. If the enemy team is here, we have to be very careful. Then you probably hide here. But on either case, you really want to make sure that you get long range pressure on them. Sense range right now is 40 meters. Not because of his left click, but because of Discord, really. And of course, you really want to make sure that you can get Discord out whenever possible. So you can play from a very long range and still be fine. You don't have to be this close. And they win. So that would be a really bad angle since we had a pick and we were pushing. The thing is, Zenyatta is not a hero that's very good on close range. Like, I get up to here, I'm like, maybe you are just pushing with the team, but after this, I'm like, here I'm like, I will be backing up. I don't want to be this close. Like, I know there's a Roadhog, I know there's a McCree, and my team is pushing point. I'll back out and play at the very least here, if not like all the way back here again. Behind this and then moving back. But you don't, the thing with saying is that you don't need to be with your team to get value, so long as you can do damage this way because you've got no drop off, right? You don't have to push with your team to get value. It's like playing a sniper. You really don't want to be with your team. Being with your team is usually bad. Like, if you are on top of your team, you're just gonna get killed, which is what happens here. You are not with your team, but you're playing on a position where the enemy can easily get to you, and you just die. And I'm not gonna say this fight loss is your fault, but this death at the very least is your fault. Now we just lose. They did have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ultimates to throw at us on that fight in particular. So I'm not sure how winnable it was. But at the same time, if you had stayed alive, maybe you had trance. Maybe then we combo this, and maybe this, right? We had ultimate as well if you had maybe managed to stay alive and get trance off. But your mercy play, pretty decent. Not very big mistakes. The biggest thing I can tell you is stop playing in exposed positions or guardianing, because guardian sometimes is a little unpredictable. So stop doing like the super jump or just guardianing to people in situations that might expose you, especially when they have good long range heroes like Zenyatta, McCree, Ash, who could just kill you while you're exposed like that, or you could just get hooked. Wait a couple seconds on Volk. Those are the biggest ones, because again, you don't want to waste 3 or 4 seconds of Volk while your team is making this rotation. Otherwise, your team is really waiting here and then pushing forward, or just here, and then they have to actually move to get close because you have a Roadhog and a Zarya who are more close range. But other than those, your Mercy pretty good. Your Zenyatta, definitely not that good. Like, I'm pretty sure your Mercy is better than your Sen. You had a death here playing in the open, and you had a death here playing close to McCree. So, not ideal. You really want to be rotating to much safer positions. Zenyatta is probably the most vulnerable hero in the game, right? Big hitbox, big head hitbox, no mobility, good damage but low survivability, no cooldowns he can use on himself, so very low survivability overall. He's very easy to kill. So I'm like, yeah, you should with Zenyatta you should be prioritizing your life most of the time, because if you're alive and discording people and shooting in the direction of the enemy team, even if you're not killing people, you're doing damage, and that's usually not the best, but at least some kind of value. So, especially Discord. Discord is the biggest value you can get with Zenyatta. But too long don't breathe. Prioritize staying alive a little bit more, both with Mercy and with Zen. With Mercy, don't expose yourself. With Zen, stay in defensive positions with cover a lot more. That's probably it. Right, I'm gonna take another short break because really I just want more water. But I'll be back in like 2 minutes, and then we'll do Colonel Extremis, who also redeem, I think. Be back. 2 seconds. Well, 2 minutes, really.